It was when we played KC.
That's what I was going to say.
And it was fourth down. I mean, I was in the backfield. I came in the backfield. It was a man play. They zoned it out. I remember I kind of was on the left side in the backfield, got through the line, and ran a little flat to the right, and realized it was zone. And in my head, I'm like kind of like, oh no, and turn around and see Josh just take off. And there's a lot of times, like I tell this all the time, there's a lot of times during a game where Josh will take off and he's like making guys miss or like hurdling or doing all this crazy stuff. And I'll catch myself like on the field, like fangirling. Like I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness. And then in my head, I'm like, I should probably go block.
Welcome to the Greenlight Podcast presented by BetMGM. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code Greenlight and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code Greenlight. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. If that bet loses, you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Just make sure you use bonus code Greenlight when you sign up. This is a real treat. If you listen to Greenlight Pod, you know we love this guy, Khalil Shakir, one of the most underrated players in the league, and now he's paid like it. Welcome to the show and congratulations, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I just want to start by saying I've killed people in Madden with you for like the last 2 years or so, and then they took the zig route out of the game. And so I got to find other ways to get you open, but you've been absolutely unstoppable, bro.
That's funny. I've heard that from a couple of my homeboys. I get Snapchat videos from them playing Madden all day, every day. So it's funny.
Yeah, dude, just crushing people. So congrats on the deal. Congrats on a great year, man. I guess I heard you talk about the emotion in putting pen to paper there. 4 years, 60 mil, 32 guaranteed. That's life-changing money right there, and well-earned. For you, where does the emotion come from? Like, what are you thinking about? What's running through your head while you're signing that deal?
I mean, honestly, in the moment, my mind is pretty blank. Like it's almost like I don't know how to feel, right? It's like a very surreal feeling. As I've mentioned, is since I was 7 years old, that's when I started playing football. And one of my best friend from back home kind of reminded me, like he was like, dude, like ever since we were young, it was like we'd watch and see our favorite players get extensions and see it on ESPN and all this type of stuff. And he was like, it's crazy that it popped up on my app and it's like your name, like, so it's a very surreal feeling. Obviously I was trying to hold it together as far as tears and stuff like that. But man, it's super, it's excited. It's an exciting feeling. It's the tears about to flow out. I had my dad up there with me and my stepmom and my wife. And, every time I looked at my wife, I think that's when the tears were about to kind of flow because she's just been my rock through the whole thing. And, the roller coaster of emotions for, my first 3 years in the league, like it's the mental side is real, so she's kind of been the one that's been right by my side and all. But it was insane. It's insane.
And it's not just the money. It's like somebody recognized the work you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like, obviously, fifth round. And, I've always had a chip on my shoulder to go out there and earn my spot. And then once I started playing more, it was like, okay, now what's the next step? And setting certain goals for each season. But going into that third season was, okay, cool. Like after this season, can I lock down an extension? I want to be a Bill. Like I love Buffalo. Bills Mafia is insane. So I was like, this will be a dream, and then for it to kind of all fall together, it was crazy. It was a crazy moment. I'm just super excited for the opportunity.
It's funny you said like everybody sees. I mean, like when I got my big deal, you had to go to ESPN.com or like read a newspaper. And now everybody gets a notification.
Yeah.
So all your homies
oh, dude,
know exactly how much you got paid. Everybody that can hit you up for something knows exactly how much you got paid.
Yeah, no, that was the part I was like, right when they released it, my phone just like blew up. Yeah. And I was like, dang, it's kind of all out there, huh? So like, yeah, you're right.
It's
It's
all
everybody
out
kind of
there, baby.
knows, and hopefully things have been smooth so far with people not reaching out for things, and hopefully it stays the same.
Yeah. Brandon Beane, man, when I had him on the show last year, first off, he's an awesome dude. You know that, but like he had so many good things to say about you, and that's before I think national media was on top of it. And not only him, like Josh, when we came to camp last year and talked to Josh, we asked him about you, and his ears perked up, and he was glowing. He knew you were going to have a big year. But Brandon Beane said most underrated guy on the Bills. That's what he said last offseason. How great is it to have a guy like that believes in you and that has a vision for what y'all are doing?
Yeah, I think it's obviously it's a blessing, We kind of sat there and talked for a bit after the other day when I actually put the pen to paper, and he was just kind of like, fifth round, they didn't have any fourth round picks, and he was just kind of stressing a little bit to try and, move spots up to get me, which they did. But I'm just super super grateful for him, like ever since I've gotten there. He's had faith in me, trusted me, and just kind of told me just keep my head down and keep working, keep getting with Josh to build that connection, and would just tell me like my time's gonna come. So to have somebody like him, have that faith in me, have that trust in me to go to work, and eventually tell me all the pieces will kind of fall into place, and for it to actually happen, it's special, man. I appreciate him and his family as well. His wife kind of took my wife under her wing, and they've gotten to know each other really well. So just have a very supporting family, that at the top of our organization have that much faith in me and my family. It's a great feeling. I appreciate him a lot more than he knows. I love the guy.
So let's talk about this famous Subaru. Is it a Forester?
No, it's a 2021 touring accent.
Touring accent. Okay, I'm
Mm.
looking this bad boy up. So I see a lot of potential here, bro. I think
Yeah, dude.
I think
It,
I was giving you my pitch off the air for throwing some big 33-inch tires on there.
yeah, I know.
Milking a couple inches.
It was just kind of weird how it happened. Like I was there. I was like, oh snap! They had us rental cars at first, and they were kind of just like, okay, we're taking your rental cars in a week, and you got to get your own place. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I don't even have a car up here. So then I hit up my financial advisors and like, dude, I need a car. And I've never been a car person, like ever. And they're like, all right, cool. They connected me with somebody, and he was like, well, I have this Subaru. Because then my first question was like, I just want to be good in the snow. I was like, whatever is good in the
Yeah.
snow.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, cool. We got this Subaru to be up there in a couple of days, and I love it. I mean, I think it's amazing. I actually have had my ups and downs with it as far as taking care of it. But the last year we've really locked it in, and we started with the tinted windows. But I don't know if we'll do more to it. The plan was to get rid of it and get a new car now, but since it's kind of out there and I'm being a lot of questions about it, I might have to hold on to it.
Bro, but I feel like people are gonna start knowing it's you.
Yeah,
They're gonna be
that's
like,
true.
"Yo,
That's
that's the
true.
Subaru with tinted windows, dude. Like
Yeah,
the well kept Subaru. Is
yeah.
that the 2021? Like, I think Subaru needs to give you a bag, bro.
Yeah, I was like, honestly, I might have. Hopefully, I plug myself, and Subaru might go ahead and hit me up. Then we'll keep it for sure. But
There we go.
yeah,
There we
that
go.
that will
Okay.
be dope. That will be dope.
So, you grew up all over the place, huh? You military family?
Yeah, yeah. Military baby. Shoot, was born in Virginia, moved to Hawaii, Hawaii to California, California to Japan, Japan back to California. So yeah, moved around a lot.
So born down at the beach in Virginia, or do you
Um,
remember?
it Woodbridge. It wasn't
Woodbridge.
down at
Okay,
yeah.
Woodbridge. Yeah, it's right
hmm
up for me. Yeah, and then how long was Japan? Because
Japan was 5 to 6 years. So that's where I was the most. It was all this moving around happened before sixth grade. So like,
okay,
um, at a very very young age, and then from sixth grade on, I was in California. So I say I'm from California. That's just where I was at for, I guess, growing up for the most part.
yeah. When you were in Japan, like, was there an awareness of football? Was football a
Mhm.
thing there?
So at first, you had to be like a certain age and a certain weight to play. So
Right.
I wasn't supposed to start. I mean, I started at 7. I don't think I was supposed to start for another year or two. Um, and my one of my dad's Marine buddies had started this new tackle football league, and once he started it, my first year, there was only two teams in my division. It was us and a different military base because
Oh,
each military base around there had their own little, organization. So it was like we were the Lions, and I forgot what the other team was. But we played each other for like 8 to 10 weeks straight. This the same team
same
playing each
team.
other. Yeah, yeah. But then it grew after that, and it was actually a pretty dope experience.
That's awesome. So you got back, you kind of grew up in Cali, like as far as being in high school and that sort of thing. Did you have a fan
Yeah.
of, were you a fan of a team?
So my dad isn't a Falcons fan, so I kind of just naturally grew up a Falcons fan.
Yeah.
Um, but other
That's
than
tough,
that, that was
bro.
it. Yeah,
Tough.
he still has some of his freaking his stuff in his house, and his truck is still decked out in red and black and Falcon stuff.
Oh
But
God, dude.
he has his
Oh.
Bill section. Yeah,
Okay, good. So it's like you get both. All
yeah,
right. Were you there? So when you were at you were at Boise, right?
yep.
Were you a Falcons fan then?
I think once I got into college, I didn't really have like a team. Like
Yeah.
again, I was kind of just forced to be a Falcons fan because of my dad. But I never really watched them too much.
Okay.
But nah, once I got into college, I didn't really have a team or anything like
I
that.
was making sure you weren't like staring at the TV during 28-3. During,
Oh, no, no, no. I mean, I watched it, but I was like, I wasn't
yeah.
upset when it all
Okay,
happened.
just making sure. Well, you're in, as you mentioned, like you landed in football heaven, bro. Like that
Mm.
just feels like a place that's got that college feel, and the fans are obviously awesome. Do you have a game that you remember this year that place was the most, like the top came off it, that you
Yeah,
remember?
it was when we played KC,
That's what I was gonna say.
and it was fourth down. I mean, I was in the backfield. I came in the backfield. It was a man play. They zoned it out, and I remember I kind of was on the left side in the backfield, got through the line, and ran a little flat to the right, and realized it was zone. And in my head, I'm like, kind of like, oh no, and turn around and see Josh just take off. And there's a lot of times, like I tell this all the time, there's a lot of times during a game where Josh will take off and he's like making guys miss or like hurdling or doing all this crazy stuff, and I'll catch myself like on the field, like fangirling, like I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And then in my head, I'm like, I should probably go block, like,
Yeah,
so it's like, it's insane. Like that play, it was like, I think it was like 4th and 2 maybe or something like that. And I mean, he took it to the house and kind of just iced the game. And the place just went nuts. Like it was insane. So, I mean, watching that guy, he has multiple highlight plays every single game. But definitely when he's out there doing his thing, that place erupts.
and they always fall for the ball fake.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They
I,
do.
I mean, it works, right? It works.
10 yards down the field, dude, that joker's gonna throw the ball. I feel like you had to feel like you're in a Madden commercial, like you're in the commercial watching the subject of the commercial, like
Yeah.
when you're running behind him and watching him make people miss, bro. Like
Mm.
it's just like your field level for the biggest highlights with that guy, dude. It's got to be
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane. I mean, like I said, every game there's multiple plays where you're just like, this dude's a freak, man.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Do you ever worry about him? Like, I'm always pulling for y'all, and I barely ever see him get up slow. Like
Mm.
maybe the Houston game was the first time I ever saw it.
Yeah.
Are you
I
guys
think
ever like holding your breath?
I mean, I think this year he did a better job. I know that sounds crazy to say, but I think the whole building is like, dude, like you need to get down, like
No.
get down. And obviously, like he's such a competitor that like in those moments, like it's going to take a lot for him to get down. But if he can get down, he will. But I mean, you're talking like inside the 5, no shot, he's going to go get it. And key plays, important plays of the game, like he's going to go get it. So I think he did a better job at like just making sure that, okay, like if he had to go do it, he'd do it. But if not, he would slide and get down. So even with still all the crazy highlight plays this past year, he did do a better job at it.
I also thought he did a great job of taking care of the football.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the emphasis was coming in, or if it's kind of a product of like the switch y'all made to Joe.
Mhm.
But what lined up for him in your mind where he just started making? I mean, he was always a pretty good decision maker, but this year I feel like it just was the next level.
Yeah, I think we just kind of realized as an offense, Joe and McDermott and them, they'll stress all the time that just the turnover ratio and the turnover battle. Like if we can, keep the ball safe and protect the ball, we're going to win games. We have the players. Obviously, we have 17 lead in the way. So if we can protect the ball, like the plays will be made to win the game. So when you're turning the ball over, whether it's a ball carrier, a fumble or whatever it is, and all those things that, the game gets a little sticky. So we just really stressed on taking care of the football. And at the end of the day, it's, don't force anything. Like we don't need to force things. We don't need to press, like I said, we have the guys and the 17 lead in the way to be able to win any game as long as we protected the ball. So that was definitely like a priority going into past year.
Like I always feel like your team can win a couple different ways offensively. And I don't think y'all get enough credit for the run game.
Mm,
Like you'll see a game like the Dallas game last year where it's like, hey, we're going to throw the ball 20 times
mm,
and we're going to see if they can stop gap scheme run.
yeah.
And then you get the game like the 2 week span against Detroit and LA this week where it's like, we're not going to punt.
Mm,
It's like, so do you guys come into the week and you assume a certain identity, or do you see how it goes on Sunday? Like you come in with a game plan, but do you know that this is the way we're going to play this week and this is the way we're going to play the next
mm.
week?
Yeah, I think we always try and stress the run. I think if you can win in the run game, it opens up the pass game. So, but to do that, like everybody has to be all in on making the run game work, and that's obviously the O line, but the running backs doing what they're doing, the tight ends blocking the way they're supposed to block, and most importantly, I think the wideouts blocking in the run game is huge too. So we had a group of wideouts that like truly bought into like blocking in the run game because we knew that it might not happen that game, but down the road with running the ball so well, it'll open up the play action and the pass game as well. So I think that's definitely to establish our identity was playing physical football and running the football, and therefore down the road it helps with a lot of our pass game as well.
You talk about being willing to block, kind of an unselfish group, and that kind of played out on the field. I felt like, it was whoever was going to eat week to week. Hey, we're going to attack the middle of the field. Hey, we're not going to this week. We're going to work outside the numbers. Do you feel like that unselfishness uh, was palpable? Like when you walked into camp, like this is a group that whoever eats, we're all going to be happy
Mm.
about it and we're going to support each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the team was put together in a way to have like a lot of unselfish dudes, and I think um like you said during training camp we had to work on a lot of things as far as like we had a lot of new faces, so the connection with Josh and the pass game and all that stuff was stressed a lot. But I think when you put a group of guys who truly believe that anytime any one of us could get the ball, a big play could happen, and us really buy into that and believe that, that's when you have a receiver blocking 20 yards down the field for another guy. Like I've always said, I'm a true believer in like what goes around comes around. So if I have to go in a game and, block for James, 30, 40 times, like I'm going to do that. And we had a lot of guys who kind of bought into that mentality as well. So yeah, you could kind of feel that right away that it was a team that just wanted to win. Like we didn't care how we did it. It was just, if we had to go block out there 1,000 times, we were going to do it. If we had to pass the ball 1,000 times, like we were going to go do it. And all that is truly only possible because we have 17 too, somebody that's so special that no matter what, obviously he touches the ball every play, which means that any play, anything special could happen. So you had a lot of guys who just believed in one another and truly cared for one another.
How about the flip side of that coin? Like any play, something special, and any play, like something hectic can happen where it could be a 10-second down.
Mm.
And you guys are in scramble drill like a good bit. What goes into that whole process for y'all? And only been on one team, but I figure the rules of scramble drill are what? Like, are they the same across the board, team to team, or for y'all, is it just getting to know Josh and what he likes to do, and vice versa?
Yeah, I think we talk with Joe, and Joe always says scramble drill has to be our best play.
Right.
Like you never know what can happen up front. You have no idea what's going on, what they're going to do as a D line, and their stunts and their movement and all that type of stuff, and their pressures as well. So, like I said before, you have 17 who can get out of there and scramble, and us knowing how special he is back there, we would work it in practice all the time. You have your certain rules where if you're going to go deep, throw your hand up, right? And I think the rules for scramble are pretty much the same across the league. It's just who works it more, because in games, it gets very hectic and you can have a lot of guys in one spot, and without working it, like, I think we worked it so much to where that we kind of knew like who was going to go where,
Yeah.
like especially if he rolled out to the right and we had a certain play on, like and the scramble happened, like with the routes built in, like it was kind of known, like okay, who was going to go there and who was going to come down, like. But I definitely think it just comes to just working it so much in practice, and like you had mentioned, being on the same page with Josh as well, like he knew what we were going to do as well. So yeah, I think the rules are the same. I think just the execution part comes down to who works it more and who prepares for it the most during the weekend leading up into the game.
So what really changed when Joe came on? Because I felt like for you that was a big moment. For the offense, obviously, it was a huge
Mm-hmm.
moment. I felt like Josh improved even better than he was, and he was playing at a really high level. So what is it about Joe? And obviously, it's not really about like Ken not doing a great job. I mean, everybody seemed to like Ken, but like something clicked with Joe.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely loved Dorsey, and I think obviously with when Joe took over, I think it was just like his energy is contagious. Like
Yeah,
he would come into work like pumped up, and whether that was in the film room or stepping onto the field, um, it was almost like every day felt like he was going to throw on the pads and get out there with us.
right.
So you have an OC who like it feels like he wants to be out there with us, and not even that, just having like the simple conversations with him about off the field stuff too. Like he was more than welcome to just hear us out on a lot of different things and be there to support us. And when you got a guy that cares about you and your family off the field, like it makes you want to play that much harder for him on the field. So an all around, just a dope person, man. Like I love that guy.
And then on the other side of the ball, obviously the head man is a defensive guy. And I feel like in practice, they're not holding things back, are they? Like they're running their scheme when y'all are
Mm,
good on good.
yeah.
How difficult is it to diagnose what they're doing down to down? And then how
Mm.
much better do you think does it make you guys better when you play other teams who are maybe more vanilla or don't throw as much at you?
Oh, definitely, definitely. There is a few times where they're, doing what they're doing, and I'm just running my route like, what is going on? So like,
Yeah,
uh, I definitely think that they do a lot of things that helps prepare us as an
yeah,
offense to be ready for whatever any defense throws at us on game days. So going against them in training camp, especially, is huge for us to take a step to be ready to go for season. But yeah, it's always a good time and a lot of fun going against them with not only like the schemes they run, but just the players that we have too. I get to go against Taron Johnson every single day, and in
yeah.
my eyes, he's the best. Nickel DB, like he's the best. So to be able to go against him every single day, I know that that's going to help me be prepared for season, and no matter who lines up across from me.
Yeah, that's got to be such a, you know, I don't want to call you lucky, like, but you are lucky
Oh,
to,
definitely,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Mm.
to get to work across from a guy like that every day and probably vice versa. He feels the same way, but what makes him so good? Like, cause I think most people know that he's an elite slot corner,
Mm.
but what is it specifically? If you were explaining to a young receiver, I'm a young receiver, I just walked in, hey, what's that guy's deal?
Yeah, he's quick, man. He's quick. His feet are always on point. Um, he's fast too. Like he's sneaky fast. So I think as a wideout, like your biggest thing, especially at man coverage, is like getting off the line and creating that separation within the first 5 to 10 yards to run that route. It seems with Taron, like no matter how good you get him off the line, like once you get into breaking your route, he's right there.
Right.
So just his recovery too is crazy. But just he's a technician. Like his technique is insane. Like I said, he's quick, he's fast, just everything that you would need in a nickel, like he's that. So like I said, it's me when I'm out there, I take it seriously whenever I line up across from him, to truly get that work in and make sure that I can try and create separation and all that stuff during practice. Because like I said before, with him being the best, it doesn't matter who lines up across me during the week. I know I'll be ready.
All right, who's the strongest slot corner in the league? Like guy that when they put their hands on you, you're like, damn.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's in the slot. Like it's rare that somebody will get hands on you. There's so
Right.
much space. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've always said this. Like McDuffie is insane too.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Um,
Yeah, crazy.
yeah, the dude, he can play inside and outside.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say he's gotten me a few times with on the line and getting hands on. And it's kind of, I think you don't really expect like the nickels to be like that strong. They are
Yeah.
typically smaller. But he's definitely somebody that's like gets his hands on you and it's kind of like, oh snap, like wasn't expecting that.
Well, I guess
Uh,
I guess for a nickel, like length is strength.
Hmm.
You know, like it's just there's not a lot of guys built like him or cut like him playing that position. I know he's played outside some too, but
Yeah.
I mean that dude's a dog. Have you gone against the dude in Seattle, Spoon?
Yeah, I went against him a few times. Yeah. That was a fun game. That was a
Yeah,
fun
yeah. Well,
game.
that was the game y'all whooped their. I don't want to say you whooped his
Yeah.
ass, but this year y'all got after them in Seattle, right? So,
Yeah.
what's who are the other cast of characters that you're like, hey, is it Humphrey? Is it like just a handful of nickels that you
Yeah.
think are really elite?
Yeah. I would throw those two in there as well. I think going against um Humphreys, he's a little bit, I would say he's bigger um from a nickel standpoint. And that's Baltimore secondary in general.
They're
Um
big. They're big. That's kind
yeah,
of their reputation.
they're physical. Um, they have the swagger. They talk a lot of mess throughout the game. Um, but yeah, the dude in Seattle, he runs his mouth a lot,
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say.
I think that definitely is like some people take that like as their personality on the field, and that
Yeah,
helps them play better. I mean, even during the towards the end of the game, he's still running his mouth, and I was just like, dude, like I don't talk trash at all. I'm usually quiet on the field. That was one game I was kind of giving it back a little bit. I mean, I had over 100, and I mean, obviously the score is what it was, and he was still talking. I was like, come on, bro, like this it's over,
I
like
almost
there's no
admire
need.
a dude that does not because like when we used to be losing, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what you would think. That's what you would think. But it's all respect to him for sure. To just,
Yeah,
I mean, keep that same, character throughout the
yeah.
whole game. But no, it's all love, and it's definitely nothing but respect towards him. But he's a dog as well.
I want to talk about maybe the biggest dog on your football team, and I might be biased because that was my little. I think he was my rookie. No, he wasn't. I don't know if he was a rookie or not. Mack Hollins.
Yeah, yeah. Man, that guy, I love the dude, man. He really, I truly believe that he also has a big part in my success as well
Yeah,
so far. When I first got into league, I was, quiet and maybe said 2 words a day. Like 2 words a day, just quiet, kept my own. When Max showed up, I do feel like he kind of took me under his wing a little bit to that it's okay to play with a little bit of swagger, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And be different as well. So
He's different.
yeah, he's funny, man. I love the guy. He brought the energy every single day, no matter what. Obviously the no shoes, and
uh,
I'd have like people call me, like I get home and family members would be like, all right, so like, is he for real or is he just
yeah.
doing that for the cameras?
No.
And I'm like, no, he's for real. Like he does that everywhere. The eating with his hands, no shoes, but he's respectful about it. Cause at first
Yeah.
I was like, there's just no way you're doing this everywhere. He's like, well, if I go into a nice restaurant, I'll put shoes on. If this was the thing. He's like, if I'm not paying for the dinner, cause we did receiver dinners. So
Yeah.
he's like, if it's not my night, I'll eat with a fork and knife. But if it's my night and I'm paying and I pick the place, I'm eating with my hands.
So
So
y'all go to a steakhouse and it's on Mac, and Mac will eat with his hands.
yep. Yeah.
Yo, he's
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
100%.
He's insane. He said to ask you about the pizza. You get him pizza on what? Pizza on Tuesdays?
Yeah, right. So it started. I don't even know why it started, but it was early on in the year. I had a pizza deal with Picasso's, and by the way, best pizza out.
Really?
They're amazing.
Okay.
But I don't know why he's like, oh, you trying to order me a pizza, or maybe we had a deal or something like that. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, I'll get you a pizza. So every Tuesday, I would send him the same order. I'd text my agent, be like, yo, put that order in for Mac. They would contact them, and then it'd be there like an hour. And well, then we caught on a winning streak, So it was like, well, we got to keep doing it. And I was like, all right, like we'll just keep doing it. So every week it was a pizza and some wings, a pizza and some of the cinnamon sticks or whatever. And then, eventually, unfortunately we lost. And I go, well, dude, like,
We got to
looks
stop.
like I'm not going to, get you pizza anymore. But he loved it so much. That he's like, no, like, come on, bro. So then the whole season was sending him a pizza every Tuesday.
Bro, I thought he played great this year. I thought, obviously he's always been a dog on special teams, but
Mhm.
he's actually made a lot of plays out there at receiver throughout his career. And I
Yeah.
thought he played big in some spots for y'all this year.
He's super, super underrated as well. Like, I
Yeah.
think when he gets the opportunity, he makes the play. We have all these rules in the wideout room as far as, catches and yards after catch and, getting tackled inside the 5 and all these crazy, insane rules to like make everybody want to play better. and he's the one that started that, you know. So definitely, like, obviously his mentality is different, but when he's out there, he makes the plays. He's insane in the run game. I remember one game we were sitting there and we ran the same play like over and over and over again, and they were running right behind me and Mac. And eventually Mac starts going, like, yelling. He's like, "It's coming right here! It's coming right here!" Like, he's saying that to the defense. He turns around to Jimbo. He's like, "Right behind me," and I'm standing next to him, like, "Yo, chill, bro. Like, chill out. Like, what are you doing?" But yeah,
I saw him this year jawing at people, dude. I was
mm,
like, dude, you weren't like that when when you were a little kid.
yeah.
He wasn't doing all that talking when he was in Philly in 17.
Oh yeah, he's doing it now for sure.
All right, well, a couple questions to end on just Buffalo, man. Bar Bill, what's the order?
I usually just do the lemon pepper. Like,
What I
I'm
got?
not super huge on wings. Like, but if I do get wings, it's definitely barbell, and it's definitely their lemon pepper and blue cheese.
All right, Mr. Brightside, are
Mm.
we into it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know all the words. Um, I'm
No, I
definitely,
don't
you'll
know any
catch
of
me
them.
staring at the screen when they when they play it. Uh, but yeah, it's great. I love it. The crowd is insane. Anytime I have family that come into town, they're the only thing they say is like, "I can't wait till they play Mr. Brightside." So it's definitely dope.
All right. Do you like playing in the cold? And what's the coldest you've been in that city? It could be for out at practice. It could be during a
Yeah.
game.
I don't mind the cold. I mean, I went to Boise. It gets kind of chilly there, so it didn't really bother me too much. The wind is a little different, um, but I would probably say playoffs my second year against, it was either Steelers or KC. I don't even remember how cold it was, but it's like your toes start to freeze up and all that stuff. But I'll probably say one of those two games.
All right, man. Well, this has been a blast, dude. It's great talking to you, and I'm wishing you luck in the future. Congrats on your deal. Hope you come back again, and hopefully we'll get up to Buffalo again for camp, and I'll catch you up there. But good luck, dude.
Yes, sir. Like I said, appreciate y'all and appreciate y'all for having me.
What is up? It's the Butter King, dairy expert. This episode of the Greenlight Podcast is brought to you by Daya Pizza, featuring dairy-free cheese, now made with Daya Oat Cream Blend. Let's talk about FOMO. Fear of missing dairy. It's real. We've all had it. The Butter King has certainly had it. You know, when you hear about dairy-free cheese, you get a little skeptical, especially if you're a cheese and butter lover like me. But Daya's set out to create the ooeyest, gooeyest dairy-free cheese pizza there is, with absolutely no trade-offs. Daya pizzas are dairy-free and still deliver the rich, savory taste and total satisfaction that everyone craves and demands when looking for a frozen pizza to take home. Daya pizzas hit all the marks. Thin, crispy crust, flavorful toppings, including meatless options that taste meaty, and cheese that's rich, stretchy, and melts just like dairy, all thanks to their innovative Daya Oat Cream Blend. Daya has cured my FOMO, and now you don't have to fully commit to a dairy-free lifestyle to enjoy it. Thank God. So next time I'm in the great state of Wisconsin, home to a lot of great dairy products, I might actually trick everyone and have some dairy-free cheese pizza. Make your next pizza night FOMO free with Daya. To learn more about Daya, please visit www.dayafoods.com. Check them out on Instagram and TikTok, or visit any major retailer across the U.S., including Whole Foods, Kroger, and Walmart. Coming soon to select Publix and Sprouts.